Hello and welcome to the Psychic Side here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network, Moonstruck TV, and Enlightening Television, the number one psychic radio network on Earth. I'm your host, and I'm John Cappello. I'm a psychic medium from the North Texas area. We're delighted to have you here with us today. We are the show that debunks the skeptics. So I'm proud to be able to do that. And we like to take different topics that we want to talk about in the metaphysical area. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about the chakras. Now I may have talked about the chakras in the past, but I believe it's been been a long time. But so I thought I would just revisit it and give you some tips about what to do with your own chakra system. And excuse me. And I was going to let you know that this month, if you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area, I'm going to be at Miracles of Joy in Bedford, and we're going to be doing a class on chakras. We're calling it Your Chakras and You. So this way you can learn a little bit about your chakra system. Everybody knows a little bit about chakras. They tell me, oh, I've heard about them, but I don't really know much about them. And they tell me that they've had their chakras worked on, and some people will tell them, oh, well, this chakra is closed. Well, you really can't have a closed chakra. You can have a narrow chakra, but you really can't have a closed one. If you have a closed one, then you're dead. but because energy just got to flow through you, you see, and so it's one of those things that you've got to be aware that your chakras never fully close down. They can be underactive, they can be overactive, but you have got to take care of them and try to be sensitive to those areas of the body that they represent. And if you are, well, then you can feel it because they relate to different parts of the body, and you're just able to function a little bit better if they're balanced. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. So there are seven chakras that are in the main chakra system. Now we also have chakras that exist in our hands and in our feet, and they're kind of related to the meridians, the energy lines that go along in our bodies. And the acupuncturists use the meridians in order to place their needles in just the right spot. So if you ever had acupuncture, they use the energy lines. I believe I'm not an acupuncturist, so I don't know everything about it, but they're highly skilled at knowing where to place the needles and where to help balance energy. So pretty cool. And I do a lot of work with the chakras because I use my little aura camera, and we go to a lot of places to do the aura camera and to work with people's chakras. And as a matter of fact, this weekend I'm going to be in Oklahoma. I'll be in Midwest City at Nature's Treasures, and I'll be using my aura camera and be doing private readings, and of course the spirit gallery there as well. So it's something that's to learn about. I think that it can be your door opener to getting into metaphysics or working with your psychic ability. If you are so inclined to look at the chakra system, and it's like I said, there's seven chakras, and the top one, and you can see it over my right shoulder. It's that purple color, or magenta, some people would say. That is your crown chakra. And the next chakra under that is your third eye. And the fourth chakra, or the third, well, actually, the crown chakra is considered the seventh chakra, okay, which is a spiritual number. And so naturally, it's the energy where the divine comes in. And the next chakra, the sixth chakra, is your third eye, and your third eye is just right here, just over your eyebrows in the middle of your forehead. And then you have the fifth chakra, which is your throat chakra. And then the next chakra is your heart chakra, which is, of course, right there over your heart. And you can see where that chakra is green. And that's where we send our healing energy to others. And then you see the next chakra, the third chakra, is your solar plexus. This is where your emotions are distributed out, and this is where you receive emotional energy, and it's quite amazing. And then you have the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is that very special chakra, and where our creativity is. It happens to be where our genitals are. So, you know, we don't talk about that. We just say our creativity. That's what that's what we do talk about. And then finally, we have the first chakra, which is the root chakra. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our first caller today, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the chakras, and we'll focus on a few of them. We don't have a lot of time, with the show, but we'll see what we can do. So our first caller is Allison in Aurora, Colorado. How are you, Allison?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fine, fine. Is it cool up there in Colorado?
No, I wouldn't say cool.
Yeah, that heat dome that just keeps going over both places right now. But Allison, it looks like there's a couple of things that you're trying to work on right now. Are these both involving men, like a son and a husband, or a husband and a father, or I don't know? I'm just getting a couple of things involving men, like decisions to make, or maybe you're trying to provide some guidance. Maybe it's sons. I don't know. Does that make any sense to you?
Maybe husband.
Husband, just husband. Okay. So, are you? Um, is there a struggle around him right now?
No, we're just really wanting to basically get out of the business that we are in and to start a new business, a different business, and
Okay.
kind of just
So there's the choice. And I shouldn't have said struggle, but there's the two of you are kind of struggling with the idea of whether or not you want to stay in the business you're in and possibly go to another business. Does that make sense?
yes,
Okay, so that's the two things. Okay, that's the two things. Um, and you're just trying to make the wisest decision to make to move forward. It does feel
yes.
like the business that you're in is kind of in its last legs, or it's starting to fade. Does that make sense?
Um, well, our business is pretty thriving right now. We just don't. We're just tired of it.
Okay. Well, then maybe your energy is fading with it. Are you
Yes.
just don't have to get up and go like you want? That's the way it is with psychic ability or psychic energy. It's not that it's incorrect. It's just in trying to interpret it. So that it sounds like to me that the business is going well, but you and your husband maybe want to slow down a little bit and have a business that's not as taxing emotionally or energetically. Is that right?
Well, something that we can like support ourselves yet do more humanitarian work um, is really something where our hearts are at.
Yeah. And you want to stay in Colorado to do that?
No, we don't really. We're not totally tied here.
Okay. So
We don't.
you're willing to you want to maybe do some in some ways a philanthropy, or you want to do some, like you said, humanitarian work, or is this volunteer work that you want to do?
No, somehow like create a business that would be that we could support us and also also it would help generate money for philanthropy. I'm really leaning towards like helping animals and also like the elderly in some kind of small community living situation. Um,
Okay. Well, it seems to me that now is there a family member or someone else around you who might be willing to take the current business?
no, but we do have somebody who does want to buy our business.
Is it a man?
Yes,
Okay, all right. There's the second man. Okay, but you seem to know him. You know him already.
yes, we do.
Okay. Sorry about that. So is he a friend of yours or what?
Yeah, he's a friend of the business. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So there's the two men because it's I gotta tie it in as to where this energy is and trying to make this the best decision. So it seems to me, it just feels like to me you're gonna try to work him in as you kind of hunt and peck as to where your humanitarian work is going to be. It feels like to me you're going to be might be some type of supplier to some place like the Red Cross, or you might be the supplier to an organization that is does disaster relief or something like that. It just feels like you have a skill set, a good business skill set, and so it just feels like you may not be on the front lines of the humanitarian work, but it's humanitarian work because you're gonna have like a quick reaction to the needs of maybe more than um, one group that is already helping others. Okay, so this I don't feel like you're going to be necessarily starting a new business that's going to be on, like I say, on the front lines, but you might be in a situation to where you may go to different organizations and say, "What do you need? What's your greatest need? What do you need to source?" And you might be the people to do the sourcing and provide that, which would make money for you because you can still be maybe a for-profit company, but you'd be helping the nonprofits with their mission to help others. I don't know how that sounds to you, but that's just kind of where I see it, and I feel like you're going to be in a transition period with this other person as you kind of wean him into it, whether he purchases it from you or what. But there's just something about that's kind of what I'm seeing. So I don't know if that makes sense to
Okay.
you at all. Uh, but uh,
Yeah.
but that's just kind of that's the two men. That's the person and in some ways, I think both men look to you for your wisdom. And now be sure to tell your husband that.
Oh, I will.
So, but it just seems to me like you have a really good head on your shoulders, and that you like to look at the big picture. And I think if you look at the big picture, the two of you can fill a niche in that regard, and that might be very satisfying to you because you can see the results of your work actually going to help maybe hurricane victims or tornado victims or other people that might be in serious need of resources. So that's where I'm going to leave it with you. I hope that was of some help to you.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. So I want to get back to the chakras just for a moment before we go to our next caller, because our show doesn't last very long. It goes by fast. So I want to just let you know that we read the chakras uh, two ways actually. A lot of people read them from the top down, but actually the reading that you should do with the chakras is to read them from the bottom up. Okay. So if you read them from the top down, you have the crown, you have the third eye, you have the throat, you have the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, and then you have the root. But when you're analyzing the chakras, you read them from the bottom to the top. And the most important chakra you have is your root chakra, the first chakra. And the reason why it's the most important is because it is the most easily, um, oh, I hate to use the word manipulated, or the most changeable chakra. And also, it is the chakra that controls how much energy leaves your body. Okay. And if the root chakra is right, then the rest of the chakras kind of get in line, you know, because if your root chakra is balanced, then it's easier to balance the rest of the chakras. You do some breathing exercises, or do some other techniques that might be able to help you balance your chakras. And there's lots of them. There's lots of, whether it's crystal therapy, or just like taking an Epsom salt bath, or walking around barefooted. Those things help get your root chakra in line, and then those things also can help those other chakras that you have. So there's also a series of chants that you can do in order to balance your chakra system. So let's go to our next caller. Our next caller is Shantae in Texarkana, Texas. So is it Shantae? Is that how you pronounce it? Are you there?
Yes, I'm
Oh,
here.
okay. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Shantae.
Shantae? Ah, it was good. Ah, it must be a psychic. so, so Shantae, I don't know. Has there been some type of loss? This is almost like a loss of possessions around you. Has there been some type of job loss, or some type of loss of money, or something like that around you?
Yes,
There
both, all of the
has.
above.
Both of them. I'm so sorry. By the
Yes.
way, you might check out my latest article on my website. You go to my blog. It's about 12 things to do if you've lost everything. And because, we as psychics, we deal with this type of thing all the time. People come to us and go, wow, yesterday my life was great, and today I've lost everything. So it's amazing how life can change. But Shante, I just feel like you've been a little bit down over these losses, and that's natural. But it also feels like it's probably time to just take a little bit of rest, so that you can kind of make plans to get back on your feet. Now, this let's just kind of take things apart a little bit. What is your birth sign, by the way?
I'm a Taurus.
A what? A Pisces?
Taurus.
You're a Taurus? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Taurus doesn't stay long. Taurus doesn't stay down very long. They're tough, tough people. But right now, Taurus is has it's almost like, for a lot of Taurus people, there's a clean slate for them, along with the other fixed signs, because Pluto has just entered Aquarius, and it's kind of going back and forth between 0 and 1 degree. Sometimes it even slips back to Capricorn for just a little bit. It's actually it might be retrograde, might be going retrograde here pretty quick. Um, but for you, this is a time to rebuild. It feels like you're going to be rebuilding in a completely different direction. Now, you're not wanting to move from Texarkana, are you?
No, it's not in my plans, but I have before and I loved it, but
Now, could you be doing some work in Arkansas and just going home to Texarkana?
um, I was considering getting a job in Arkansas, because Texarkana is Texarkana, Arkansas, and Texas. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But which side are you living in? The
so I
Texas
live
side?
in Texas.
Texas side, okay. Because it looks like there might be a little bit of a drive into the other state, to Arkansas, to get some work. Now, also, have you worked in child care, or do you take care of any children or anything like that?
I have 2 kids.
You have 2 kids, so you're a full time mom as well.
Yes.
Okay, so it just seems that you are. doing the very best that you can. But you might even have to take some odd jobs in order to kind of find the one job that you're going to settle with. So I feel like um, you're a survivor now. You're not a single mom, are you?
Yeah, I am, but I do date someone at the moment. But
Okay. Well, it just feels like you're doing the best you can at being the primary parent of these children. That's a lot of work. So it just feels like you're going to take different types of jobs. You might even wind up taking a job doing a swing shift or a shift that might be nighttime. But you'll have help. I don't know if this is your mother or if there's another person to help you, but it just seems like there may be some of that you're going to be facing. But it's going to help you get back on your feet. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Do you have a question for me?
um, I guess about my love life, I did want to know how, if it's good or if it's been honest and all that.
Well, it just seems to me like this person he's content with the situation at the moment. I don't think he wants to necessarily. It doesn't feel like he wants to move forward as far as getting married or anything. Are you wanting to get married?
I did, but not at this very moment
Okay.
because of how things are
Well,
going. So,
so are you having trouble with him or what?
well, with you know, trusting him, I guess.
Oh, you just don't trust him. It feels like marking time is the best thing. Well, what I mean by that is just continue the relationship without a lot of pressure. Continue the relationship with an open mind and just continue um, just going through the motions and creating the routine. Because what's going to happen is I don't see him doing anything wrong myself. I don't see him as trying to hide things from you because you're not married. I don't think you're living together, are you?
Kinda, but not really. Like he comes, but then he'll leave and go to his mom. So,
Okay. Well, he doesn't need to be there. So it just feels like if he wanted to play the field or he wanted several other women, he could have them and not lie to you. I mean, he could. I mean, it just seemed like
right,
you're the one that he really wants. Okay, if he didn't want you, then he wouldn't be there. I'm not saying he doesn't
right,
look at pretty girls, but but
right.
I kind of think he really wants you, and I think this is a relationship worth nurturing. So so I hope you'll keep him at least for a while longer. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and good luck.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're as we continue talking about the chakras. I hope that one day if you come in front of my aura camera, I'll be able to give you a an aura picture of your chakras to let you know what is overactive and what's underactive. It's like I say with the root chakra, that's your feeling of security or insecurity. If it's overactive, then you're feeling insecure. You're feeling like, oh my gosh, how do I look today? Or can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? If it's underactive, then it's we to leave me alone, please. That sort of thing. And then if the sacral chakra is a little bit narrow, then it's sometimes I see it as a sense of exhaustion and just not being able to be creative or not being able to uh, be yourself as far as your being clever or anything like that because it's all about the creative side that you have and the solar plexus. empaths have such a difficult time with that particular chakra because a lot of times they just naturally have an overactive chakra, and they are just sponges for negativity and sponges for problem energy, and they have to learn to protect themselves. And then when you have an overactive heart chakra, this means that you're giving way too much of yourself, and so it can make you very tired. The same way with the solar plexus. Those two chakras, for me, and other people are going to have their own opinions, are where you give and receive information, so or emotional information, and especially now with the heart is where you send healing energy. The throat is how you communicate. So if it's overactive, you might be screaming at somebody. And if it's underactive, then you may need to speak up for yourself. And then with the third eye, it's about you being able to communicate with loved ones and guides and angels. If it's too much, then you're trying to depend too much on the other side. And if it's too little, it means that you're trying to take matters in your own hands. And then finally, oops, I thought we had a couple more minutes left. Um, okay, but it just seems that with the crown chakra, if it's overactive, then you are depending too much on the divine. If it's underactive, once again, you're ignoring the energy of the divine. So we're about ready to close the program today. And so I want to thank you for joining me. Be sure to like my Facebook page. You may sign up for a newsletter. I'm trying to get those newsletters out a little bit more. Read that article I was telling you about today. And I want to thank Joy Koff and Miracles of Joy for being my sponsor here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network. It's always a pleasure to work with Miracles of Joy. And always remember, that you have the right to develop your psychic ability, and that if there's a skeptic out there that doesn't like it, just remember there's always the psychic side to things. So take care, and I look forward to seeing you next week here on the A1R Psychic Radio Network and Moonstruck TV. So long. Bye bye.